One of my favorite things about Brian, two things. He said that he wanted to make music that could help people smile and help them heal. It's like, oh my God, it's like beautiful, you know.
Round, round, get around, I get around, yeah, get around, round, round.
We've all grew up in California. The brothers here, Dennis, Brian, and Carl.
You had access for research purposes to a lot of the old recordings of Brian Wilson and the Wrecking Crew. What was the most sort of revelatory piece that you found listening to those recordings?
When I first hear that Brian thought he was connected to something, to almost something bigger than himself at that point, I think it's a hard thing to digest right away. And then, you know, you sort of hear him working with these guys, and it's such a fluid process of knowing what he wants, slash discovering, slash searching. And it did feel to me like he was in contact with something, which is a big thing to say. One of the miracles of Brian's music is that it goes down so smooth when you hear it, but when you break it apart, there's a lot going on. It's really complex, sonically, the instrumentation, harmonically, but you don't need to know that even to go, my God, this is a good song.
Brian?
Yeah.
I think you might have screwed up here.
Really? Let me see.
Well, you've got Lyle playing in D and the rest of us are in A major.
Yeah, that's right.
How does that work? Two bass lines in two different keys?
Well, it works in my head.
One of the interesting things about your performance of him is that he's clearly this person who's very vulnerable, who's very sort of easily hurt by a lot of the cruelties that the world can throw at people, and yet he's completely unabashed in expressing himself musically.
Da-da-da-da-da, boom! 2, 3, 4, ba-doom! So it's the first beat on the last bar of the intro. Boom! 2, 3, 4, ba-doom!
You really get just the almost domineering aspect of him when he's creating, as opposed to this open wound.
That was actually hard because every day was like a seesaw, you know, so I would be filled with the ecstasy of music and create like a real high, like beautiful thing, and then also like this pretty intense pain and struggle that he had, and it was like constantly up and down depending on the scene and this and that. I just think that's who Brian is. I think that he is his music. That's what he knows, like that's where he can be his full self. Stepping into that studio is like, you know, there was like a feeling. I do think it was harder for him outside of the studio. Brian sits down at the piano, like that's him. That's where he's at home. We were in the studio that Brian recorded Pet Sounds in back in 1965. We got real musicians in there, and we did all the music live. And I mean, it was so fun in that studio, you know, it felt so alive.
I'm going to make the greatest album ever made. Got all kinds of new ideas, new sounds, new instruments.
I knew right away that I didn't want to meet Brian for quite a while, just because I didn't want to be tempted towards mimicry, and also because my gut impression was his sensitivity, his openness. I think he was able to carry his child with him into adulthood more than most of us because he didn't kind of build up those extra layers almost. So it was really internally working towards that open space, you know, for me. And then the physical things started to happen, but at first, you know, it wasn't about what the hair or the clothes or gaining weight or, you know, I didn't even know that I would do that. I really just dove into the music. So listening to it, learning to play the piano, working on my singing, and literally just through the music trying to like touch base with who Brian was.
I have this song playing over and over in my head. I just don't have the words or the melody. Do you have anything?
How much does it help to have learning the music kind of be your point of entry?
One little philosophy I was hoping for while trying to prepare for was can I sing my way to the part?
I may not always love you, but long as there are stars above you.
Singing every day like changed my life. Like I loved it, and you're literally putting the songs in you, you know, they're resonating through your body. It was certainly, for me, one of the biggest keys to trying to be Brian.
And God only knows what I'd be without you.
I do think that I was really turned on by all the light and love that was there for Brian and in Brian, and I do think it fed me in a different way. Brian's spirit is sort of, once you kind of connect with that, it's so strong. As long as we kind of chased that, you know, I think we thought we'd be okay.